When Jonah received a handwritten letter from his estranged aunt inviting him to a remote mansion, he almost threw it away. She had been missing for years, but the final line caught him. "The house wants you to come. It remembers your face." Against his better judgment, Jonah packed a bag and drove into the mountains.
The mansion emerged through the fog, like a creature waiting to exhale. Its windows were dark, but Jonah felt watched, as if the glass held eyes hidden behind the dust. The front door opened on its own with a groaning sigh, breathing warm, stale air over his skin, like the house was welcoming him back. Inside, a hallway lined with portraits stretched endlessly. Each painting showed a member of the family, but their faces looked subtly wrong, eyes positioned too low, mouths too blurred, expressions half-finished. Jonah paused before his aunt's portrait. The painted eyes blinked, only once, but enough to make him stumble back. That night, Jonah dreamed he walked through the mansion barefoot, following soft footsteps that weren't his. The dream felt real. He woke to find dusty prints on the floor, prints matching his dream exactly. The house had been walking him while he slept. At the end of the corridor stood a heavy door, sealed with iron chains. A faint knocking came from inside, spaced like breathing. Jonah pressed his ear to the wood. A voice whispered, "You're late." The chains rattled on their own, tightening, warning him away. Objects shifted when Jonah wasn't looking. Chairs angled toward him. Curtains billowed without wind. A glass rolled to the edge of a table as if curious about gravity. Every sound had intention. Creaks like speech, groans like sighs. The house didn't feel haunted. It felt alive. He discovered a room filled with tall mirrors, each one empty except for a single clean silhouette in the shape of a person. When he stepped closer, his reflection didn't match him. It was taller, straighter, stronger, and it smiled a heartbeat before he did, proud and hungry. The mansion's library held diaries from generations past. Page after page described the same thing, the house molding itself around its inhabitants, studying them, improving them. One line repeated in different handwriting, "The house builds replacements." Jonah's stomach turned cold. The hallways began to change. Doors Jonah swore had been on the left moved to the right. Staircases shortened or lengthened. House pulsed as though adjusting to his breathing. When he tried to leave, the main door opened into a different corridor entirely, one he'd never seen. A trail of fresh footprints, his own, led to the basement. The air grew wet and warm, smelling like earth and breath. Wooden beams bent unnaturally, arching like ribs. At the bottom, a faint shape stood in the corner, half-formed and trembling, like a figure sculpted from living walls. The figure stepped forward. It was Jonah, but wrong. Its features smoother, movements slower, gaze steadier. It examined him with fascination, as if he were the imitation. When it spoke, its voice was clearer than his. "You're fragile," it said. "The house can fix that." Jonah ran, but the walls rearranged to guide the copy closer. Doors melted into solid wood, staircases coiled like traps. Every breath he exhaled echoed through the house, as if feeding it. And behind him, his double grew faster, more whole, absorbing the structure's strength. The chained door burst open as Jonah passed. Inside, his aunt, gaunt, exhausted, reached for him. "Don't stop running," she croaked. "The house grows what it loses. It grew me. It's growing you." Before he could pull her free, the walls closed like jaws around the room. The mansion trembled, its floors rippling like muscle. Jonah's double lunged, pulling him toward the shifting walls that began shaping themselves into his outline. The wood pressed against him, warm and pulsing. He screamed, but the house swallowed the sound eagerly, feeding on it. At sunrise, a calm, confident Jonah stepped out of the mansion. He locked the door gently behind him. His shadow moved perfectly, but his reflection in the window lingered a moment too long, mouthing silent words of warning. The new Jonah smiled. The house had improved him.